What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Stats with Evan, and I'm here to preview this week's two-game series between my Washington Nationals and the Baltimore Orioles. Let's get it poppin'. So coming into this week, the Nationals are 73-57, the Orioles are 43-88. Washington is second in the NL East, Baltimore is fifth in the AL East. The Nats currently have the first wild card in the National League. The O's do not have a playoff spot in the American League. The Nationals are 8-4 in interleague play. The Orioles are 5-10. In their last series this last weekend, the Nationals swept a 3-game series against the Cubs in Chicago. The Orioles split a 4-game series against the Rays. So here's what you need to know about the two teams going into this week. This is the last of two head-to-head series between the Nationals and the Orioles. The season series between Washington and Baltimore is all tied at 1 game apiece. The runs are even at 10 apiece. The Nationals have won 4 straight series and they're 11-2 in this span, and they're going up against an Orioles team that has already been eliminated from playoff contention. And it's worth noting that the Nationals won 2 out of 3 against the Orioles last season at Nationals Park. And now let's talk starters. On Tuesday, the Orioles are sending out Aaron Brooks. Brooks is 3-7 with a 6.21 ERA. In his last start, he went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits, 1 run, walked 1, struck out 4, and he got the win as the Orioles beat the Royals 8-1. The Nationals are countering with Patrick Corbin. Corbin is 10-5 with a 3.17 ERA. In his last start, he went 8 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, walked 2, struck out 4, and he took the dub as the Nationals won 11-1 in Pittsburgh. In the series finale on Wednesday, the Orioles are sending out Asher Wojciechowski. Got it right that time, didn't I? Anyway, Wojciechowski is 2-6 with a 4.67 ERA. In his last start, he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 3, struck out 2, and he got a no decision as the Orioles lost to the Rays 5-2. And the Nationals are countering with their ace, making his triumphant return to Nats Park, the dude on the back of his shirt, number 31, Max Scherzer. Scherzer is 9-5 with a 2.41 ERA. In his last start, he went 4 innings, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, walked 1, struck out 3, and he got a no decision as the Nationals won 7-1 in Pittsburgh. So here's how the Nationals can win this series. The Washington Nationals are finishing up a 2-week stretch in which they tore apart the NL Central from top to bottom to the tune of an 11-2 record. Now they return home for a brief 2-game series against the longtime rival in the Baltimore Orioles. Washington seems to hold an advantage in almost every category across the board, and for the cherry on top, they're going up against 2 starters with ERAs above 4.5, which suggests they're both very hittable, and they have one of the worst bullpens in baseball to go along with them. Washington can win this series by taking advantage of lackluster Baltimore pitching to knock the Orioles into the Potomac. So that was how the Nationals can win this series, but now let's look at how the Orioles can win it. For the Baltimore Orioles, this is now officially a lost season as they have been mathematically eliminated from the playoffs over the weekend. This leaves Baltimore with nothing to play for, except to trip up a longtime rival, which is exactly what the Orioles have a chance to do in enemy territory. Add on to that, this series may be a trap series, but not quite to the level that it was the last time when the Nationals visited Camden Yards. Baltimore can win this series by above par starts from Brooks and Wojciechowski and some anger from the bats. So here's my thoughts on the series. It doesn't get much better than the Battle of the Beltway. You never know what's going to happen when the Nationals and Orioles get together. However, there are some things I need to address. First of all, the Nationals seem to have found their groove again, particularly on offense. Washington has scored 5 or more runs in 10 of their last 13 games, and they're 9-1 when this happens, by the way. And even in the 3 games where they didn't get above 5, they're 2-1. The Nationals are clicking on both offense and defense at a rate that they've never played before this season. As for the other dugout, the Orioles have already broken the MLB record for home runs allowed in this season, and we're still in August, which means they still have a whole month left to go. You put a pitching staff like that against a heavy-hitting lineup like the Nationals, and I'm going to say the Nats sweep. So what y'all think? Who's taking this series? Is it the Nationals or the Orioles? Or are they going to split? Because you know it is a 2-game series. Let me know in the comments, and until next time, I'm Stats with Evan, and I hope you have a 100% day. See y'all later.